I'm not gonna lie, there's some things that I don't like, and it's a lot, so we'll be here a while. On the pod, and Phil's by my side, so you know we'll be doing this right. We're the meat and potatoes of it. When no one will say it, you know that we will. Because we aren't afraid of it, and we know the truth hurts, but we will speak up still. Yeah. We're the meat and potatoes of it. We're the meat and potatoes of it. When no one will say it, you know that we will. Because we aren't afraid of it, and we know the truth hurts, but we will speak up still. Yeah. We're the meat and potatoes of it. When no one will say yeah, you know that we will, 'cause we aren't afraid of it.
Two guys walk into a room with a plan. One says steak, the other says ham. They sit down, forks up, it's time to debate. But who's right or wrong? Well, that's up for fate. Meat and potatoes, that's how it goes. Two minds collide, but the laughter flows. Agree to disagree. It's the recipe. It's the recipe for a feast of thoughts. Just wait and see. One says ketchup, the other says none. One loves the moon, the other the sun. They're like salt and pepper, never the same, but together they spice up the whole dang game. It's not about winning, not about loss. It's about finding flavor in the sauce. Meat and potatoes, that's how it goes. Two minds collide, but the laughter flows. Agree to disagree. It's the recipe. It's the recipe for a feast of thoughts. Just wait and see. One says the glass is half full, half bright. The other says it's empty, but that's alright. It's not about the fill, it's about the pour. Let's argue some more, pass the metaphor. Meat and potatoes, that's how it goes. Two minds collide, but the laughter flows. Agree to disagree. It's the recipe. It's the recipe for a feast of thoughts. Just wait and see.
Come in. Hold on.
I'm in there.
Hey there, buddy.
How we doing tonight?
We're doing great, Phil. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Doing all right. Had
What's
a hard day at work, kind of, but other than that,
Okay,
been a good day.
Hey, well, hold on one second, Phil. Let me just I gotta adjust something here. You want to go ahead and grab the stream here for a second? I just got to adjust this thing right here real quick. I'll be
All
back
right.
in 1 second. If you want to just
No
talk to
problem, no
everybody.
problem. Yeah, we're doing a second episode today. meat and potatoes. I have a lot of things I want to talk about. Everybody's not going to agree with them. Like I say in the previous video, everybody ain't going to agree, but we're just here to discuss things and, get different perspectives and how everybody views something. So hopefully y'all will enjoy this night. I'm glad for the people that have tuned in already. I was told we had 130 views already, so nice start, very nice start. I appreciate y'all watching. Those that don't know, I'm from Alabama. Moved up here about a year ago to New York, and New York has different laws than Alabama does, and different viewpoints entirely that I don't agree with, and some I do, but I'm going to enjoy talking with y'all tonight.
Oh, it's going to be a good night, Phil. It's going to be good. So, yeah. So we're going to be like this in true Charlie Kirk style. We just want everybody to know if there's an argument or whatever, we can disagree, and that's fine. And that's the way it should be. We should all be able to disagree in this world. You agree on that, right, Phil?
Yeah, I do.
Some topics are tougher to talk to people about, right? Some people don't even want the nads to even bring it up. They just live with this built-up, pent-up aggression about it, right?
Right. Very true.
But you got to get that stuff out. You have to, right?
Right. I mean, the only way you're going to ever see somebody with a point of view if you talk about it. So if you don't talk about it, the only thing you have to look at is your own perspective on it.
That's right. That is it. So Phil called me up a little while ago, and he said, hey, typically, I have a Confederate flag that flies behind me right there, but one of my mini kitties decided that they were going to take it down. So it kind of threw this off for the show. But that's what Phil wanted. He called me up. He goes, how do you feel about the Confederate flag? And then I said, well, I always have one flying up in my background. And that's where we're going to lead with this. So, Phil, since this was your topic, let's get into it.
All right. So do you know the history of the Confederate flag? Like fully?
Yeah. I mean, as far as I know the history of it, of course.
So you know who created the Confederate flag?
Well, it's a Christian flag that was created first. That's what it was before anything. It was a Christian. It was based on. Well, here I'll show you what the original flag was, because that's not the original Confederate flag. You know that, right?
Yes, I do know that.
Right, and it wasn't even till. When did they turn to the stars and bars?
Forgot the actual year, but I know it had 13 stars on it, and that's when the Confederates were basically going to war with the North.
Mm-hmm.
I also know that flag originally was created by a black woman. That was supposed to be the flag for freedom of the slaves.
Right. So the first national flag of the Confederate States Army looked kind of like the Betsy Ross flag. Here it is right here. I'll show you. Come on now. There it is. Here we go. So this was the original Confederate flag right here, guys. Mm-hmm. That's what it was supposed to be. Right. And that took place in 1861 through 1863. So you have that there then, and then we've turned it to what we all know it is of now is, let me see here. Let me pull this one up. Get rid of this picture here. So then we go to our Confederate flag, or actually, no, it's not even that anymore. But because then it went to the second flag, the second national flag is when they brought the stars and bars into it. Now this is it right here with the, this is when they started doing that, but this was a bigger white flag. And this was was it Mississippi's flag that they just finally got rid of? Isn't it that who had the last one?
Yeah, I think Mississippi banned it.
Right.
Actually,
right. Yeah. So this was it here. All right. And that's Mississippi.
13 stars, yes.
Right. So they had it up until then. But then there became the whole thing about, well, this is now used as a symbol of racism, right? Like that's what people would say. If you fly a Confederate flag, people now consider you to be a racist. That,
Which,
that's
in defense of that, everybody that flies that flag is not racist. I'm not going to even sit here and say that every person that flies that is racist. I had a very good friend of mine that had rebel flags through her entire car, but to her it was more like Southern pride.
right. And that's what a lot of people say, right? That's what a lot of it goes by, is that this is Southern pride. This is what it means. But how does it get to the form of racism? Like, where does this transpire into that?
What was one thing was what it was taught in school. So for most young people that went to school, they associate that flag, at least between the early 70s and late 90s, that flag represented slavery. Now, in black schools, that was a big thing.
Okay.
My school that I went to originally was predominantly black. I'm literally telling you the truth. There was probably 5 white kids in the whole school. During Black History Month, a lot of things were pushed about how we were slaved, and that flag was brought up a lot. Unfortunately, it was also taken on by a lot of supremacist groups, the Ku Klux Klan, the skinheads used it. A lot of racially pushed groups grabbed that flag.
So these groups grab a hold of this flag that has deep, rich ties to the South. A lot of people in this country that were American soldiers, whether they were from the South or the North during the Civil War,
right?
That was their battle flag, right? That was their battle flag that they went on that field and they died for. I mean, if you want to get into about the Civil War, some people say it was fought over slavery. Some people say it wasn't. I will tell you that I love the Civil War and I love studying it. And the Civil War was absolutely not fought over slavery. As a matter of fact, the Civil War, the Democratic Party actually brought the slavery card into it because the North was losing the war. The North was plain out losing the war, and this war was started because the South had an abundance of cotton. You had a bunch of ritzy, smart, and developing Northerners that have come up with all this machinery. That was weaving and using cotton in ways that it had never, to get rid of the cotton gin. They came up with these big machines in like Lowell, Massachusetts, and places like that. They came up with the shuttlecock, that was used. And so they had all these huge machines and factories up in the North. But guess what they didn't have, Phil?
What didn't they have?
They didn't have any cotton, man. But they thought, since the South had an abundance of cotton, that they would just automatically let the North go ahead and use their cotton to make their products out of. Well, the South said no way. They weren't giving them an acceptable price to pay for all this new machinery and everything. So they continued to ship their cotton to Europe and to allow our people that we had just fought less than 100 years ago in this war to produce all the cotton products out of the cotton. This built a bunch of animosity, because the people in the North were now saying, what the hell is this? This is our country. Why are you sending this stuff over to our just, not even our enemy? The blood was still wet on the battlefields from the Revolutionary War. And now you're not going to give this product that you guys are growing there to us up here in the North, where we just built and paid for all this machinery that lays dormant in all these factories that we built. And then we start to see an outbreak in the way people are thinking, the way that they're feeling. Sitting there saying that they try to make the federal government come down and take over the southern plantations and things like that, saying, no, you need to do this and this and this to ensure that these mills up here in the North get, used in labor intensive, right? And all of this, not caring about quality of products, not caring about cost effectiveness, not caring about any of those things. Mm-hmm. The South said, we're not having it. No government is going to come into our states and tell our states what we're going to do with the products that our farmers raise. And they build all these things and they farm it themselves. So in my opinion, they have the right to pick and choose who the hell they sell it to, who they get rid of it to, who they, that's what they're doing. They have a product that people want. You can't just force people to take your product, right? You can't just do that. And then this is what begins the Civil War. Now, other people will debate and say, "Oh, it was Fort Sumter, it was things like that took place. That the South or the North came down and they did this, that, and this." But in the reality of it, it boils down to contract law and the money that the North would not pay for this stuff. It wasn't until the North was getting completely annihilated that they had to do something, and then they included the black people to get into the Civil War by offering them freedom, right? They get to get away from there. But here, answer this question, Phil. If the North had no slaves or any of that stuff, why was the North offering black people to serve in their armies and to get their freedom after they've done their tenure?
Well, first and foremost, I never said that the North didn't have slaves. The North did have slaves. Were they treated differently? Yes, they were definitely treated a little bit differently. Southern slaves were basically farm animals, whereas in the North, they were more like your butlers, people who care for the home. They took care of they didn't call them slaves per se, but they were slaves. They just had more rights.
Right. And it was fair to say, though, but it's fair to say that back then, I'm not going to say it here just for the chances that we could be, blocked or whatever. And I don't want to, because this is a great topic, especially between a black guy and a white guy from the North and from the South. So this is a great topic to have and a discussion that most people won't even bring up, or whatever. But this is heritage we're talking about.
Correct.
So this stuff needs to be spoken of, and the truth needs to be put out there, because most people will tell you that the Civil War was directly fought over slavery. But if they were bringing in
that, as far as school, that's what they tell you, that it was over the slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Now, what's your story on the Civil War, and how does that begin?
So of course it's history. With me personally, a lot of it is looked at. I look at the Civil War like history has said it, like it was about slavery. The cotton was the big thing. Now, who took care of the cotton in the South? The slaves. They were the one that was basically manufacturing. They was the workers. So yes, cotton was the gold of the situation, but behind that were the slaves. Now, unfortunately, for that time period and those group of people, which are my ancestors, that Confederate flag that was waved was considered persecution for them. It would be no different in my aspect in thinking how if, let's say, CPS had a flag that was waved. Now, let's say in the beginning, CPS was supposed to be a good thing, correct?
Right.
Helping families that were broken, mending them back together. But a group of people took that and ran in a different direction. So the people that were under that said persecution or said mindset, when they see that, they're going to think of one thing. And that's how the Confederate flag is looked at by a lot of African American people. When we see that flag, it reminds us of what our ancestors, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents went through. Now, like I said again, I have friends that have that flag, but to them, it's just Southern pride. When I see it, I can't say that I don't see racism immediately. But after I get to know the person that I'm dealing with who has that flag, doesn't mean that I don't change my mind.
So it's up to the person. So what you're saying is it's up to the person and their ideals, which kind of transforms their opinion to be what it is over the flag. So when they say it's Southern pride or they say it's the other.
In one sense, I look at it like that. On another sense, it's also kind of a smack to the face. It's like taking something that is bad and making it good. We might make it good, but where it came from.
Right. Or it's taking something bad, or it's taking something good and forming it into something that's bad.
Correct.
Right. Because it's fair to say that any person that doesn't know their history is if they're spouting off saying that this is a racist thing, that's completely and utterly wrong.
It's
That's
it's wrong. It is wrong, but it's also right because a lot of racist groups did take that flag.
but that's not the fault of the original meaning of the flag, right?
No,
That's not
it's not the fault. No, it's not.
right.
It's not. It's
So we can never say that flag was intended to be a symbolize of segregation. We can't say that it was a symbolizing slavery. We can't say that it symbolized anything other than the fact of a portion of states and part of the United States of America has adopted a different symbol other than the stars and bars that we know of today. The red and white stripes and the circular nations as the stars would represent. But none of that. They didn't ever sit down and say, we are going to make a flag that needs to be flown to show our hate and despair for Black people, the colored people, or let's just agree to disagree, but let's just agree on this, that this is just, no one ever said that this is a flag for white people only and the symbol of it is just for whites.
No, it was not said to be that. Like I said originally, it was made by a woman who was of African descent.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the flag to say we're fighting against. Now, when they saw that flag, they took it from them.
Okay.
And they was like, okay, we're going to claim this as the Southern flag. Like you said originally, that flag didn't have those 13 stars. Those 13 stars represented all the 13 states that wanted to keep slavery.
Mm-hmm.
So they took a flag that was supposed to be a positive thing and made it negative, and that's unfortunate.
Well, who's they? So who's they?
The 13 states that decided that they wanted to keep slavery.
Okay.
And when I say slavery, I mean in the sense of like how slavery was in the South. They are cattle. They're not people, they're cattle.
Or as Dr. Fowler would call them, she would say chattel, right? That's what we agree that chattel is, right? That's which we use that a lot in the terms of, like our children. In some arguments for CPS would be like, oh, they're chattel, So that's in a roundabout way, that's what they were trying to say, correct?
Yeah. Definitely.
So pretty much what you're saying is that it was a possession. It was a sign of possession. It was a sign of ownership. It was a sign of okay. So it was not about a unity thing. You're saying you're saying that inadvertently this flag was just an afterthought constantly. That's kind of what you're saying.
It was taken to be a good thing, a positive thing, and was meant to strike fear.
Mm-hmm.
When you saw that, when as far as African Americans go, when they saw that flag, they knew trouble was coming their way.
Right.
And there was nothing they could do about it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's unfortunate how history has let things play out. It really is. Me personally, I don't look at any particular symbol as like even the United States flag. I'm an American, but that flag represents something, but I don't put too much stock in it personally. I look at
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, Phil, you.
Okay.
No, Phil.
That flag has a lot of good things behind it, but there's also a lot of bad things behind our own flag as far as the United States goes. So again, it's all, like you said, on representation, how you view it.
Right, or interpretation, right.
Correct. But we always have to respect the next man's opinion.
Right. We all have that. We all have in this country the right to have the rights to.
Yeah.
Right. So that's, we should always be able to have those rights. We should also always be able to invoke those rights when we choose to invoke them. Not let others decide for us when and how much and so on and so forth. But oh man, I just lost my train there. All right, Phil.
Get you back.
Dang it, almighty. I got to do like that 5 seconds of counting here so I can go back to the reset. But yeah, so all right, go on, Phil, with something else. Let me get my brain back while you're I listen to your beautiful voice and I can hear what you were saying.
But
Um,
at the end of the day,
mhm.
I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody how they should view it. I have my own viewpoints, and
Right,
those points that I have will never change.
right.
Viewpoint, if you show that you're a racist and you fly that flag, that means you're racist. Now, like again, there are people who are Southern or have family from the South or from the South themselves and moved up north and still fly that flag. Excuse me.
Hmm.
Um, you just have to respect the next person that comes across you.
Then that's what's it. That's it right there. That's the biggest. That's the biggest thing that everybody needs to pick up and learn is that we all have the right to have our own decision, our own thoughts, our own way of reacting or acting towards things that we are passionate about, or the things that we agree on or we disagree, and the things that we can come to a mutual ground. Now, there are other things in this world that's not going to happen, but and that's okay. That we don't have to. That's the beautiful about the United States of America. We don't have
I
to.
feel also that, like I had also said too, though, that we have to respect the next man's opinion. So if you're around somebody that, even though you feel completely validated in what you're doing, if it
Mhm,
offends somebody,
mhm,
you have to either consider, do I care enough to change in this moment what I'm doing, or
right,
do I want to say I don't care, you just did what I'm dealing with?
right.
Does it matter? And I think
Mhm,
that's one thing that has happened to people, is that we don't consider the next man a lot. We
right.
consider more what we want. And that's how the government has kind of forced people to become. Is,
Mhm,
what do I want, and when do I want it, and how do I want it? Not, okay, I want this, but does it affect my relationship with another person in the same
mhm,
sense? So,
mhm.
I wanted to bring this
I like
topic
that.
up again because it is a very sensitive topic. And
Mhm.
I promise you, this ain't gonna be the last time I talk about it. But
Hell
um,
no. Uh-uh.
I do I look as, first of all, for the people that are watching, do I think Darren is a racist? No, I
Mm.
do not. I would not be on the podcast with this man right now if I thought he was a racist.
All right,
Um,
thank you for it. No.
no, I don't. I don't. That flag means something to you. It means something to me. Like again, we have two different outlooks on that. When I see it, I get a quick twinge, but I have to get to a feel for that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to tell you don't have the right to push that flag if you want to. But we
Mm-hmm.
also have to remember that certain people, even within our podcast, are going to see it,
Mm-hmm.
wonder
Right,
what the fuck is really going on.
right.
You
And then
know
that's where, right. And then that brings the whole topics to the dinner table where we go ahead and throw it down. Let's let's throw this thing down on the table and let's talk about it until we've come to a resolution or deep a
understanding
deep
of
move.
each of our
Right.
views. It doesn't mean anybody's view is changing, but we each have our own views on it. So,
Right. Of
yeah.
course.
So another topic I wanted to ask you about. What do you think about this whole shooting that happened with what's his name? Charles. What's his name?
Charlie Kirk, buddy. Charlie Kirk's our buddy right there. He's actually they're doing his memorial service right now. You know what? Maybe I could put that in a picture so we can keep that on the below here, so people can see what is going on here with his services right there. And I believe that President Trump is there right now.
Oh, yeah.
I think Vice President Vance is there also.
What do you
Um,
think about the whole situation? Just
about which one?
as far as him being shot, um,
Mm-hmm.
everything he talked about. Do you think that had a reason why that happened? Like, what is just your personal view on it?
Well, I mean, that's what like that's. I don't believe in what they're trying to do now with the situation. I don't believe that they're trying to transfer what Charlie Kirk was all about into something that it's not or it wasn't. I mean, what this guy stood for was the fact that you can come out and me and you can have a disagreement. It's okay to have a disagreement. Um, you don't have the right to attack people because their viewpoints are different than yours. You don't have the right to Well, you just don't have. Oh man, what was I trying to sit there? Just trying to get that out. You just gotta, you gotta be able to. You got to be able to disagree with somebody and keep a good head about yourself. You can't disagree with somebody and lose your mind, start lashing out at people with rude and vulgarity, and there needs to be some sort of a constructing criticism or something along those lines.
That's very true. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We all have the right to our opinion. Again, we all have the right to it. But it's how you convey that opinion is what's most important. There were a lot of times he would say something that I actually believed, like, yeah, that's right. And then there'd be other times I would feel like he would say something and I'm like, I don't agree with that. But again, that was his opinion.
Right.
Where he kind of messed up was when he started telling people what they should and shouldn't do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have the right to say, I don't like this. This is not cool. And this is why I feel that way. But when you tell somebody they can't do something, somebody's always going to buck. Somebody's always going to buck. To go back to our previous conversation, if I told you right now, the only way we're going to be friends is if you take down that flag. I'll never be friends if you don't take it down.
Right.
So now that I'm put you in that position, it is making it where I am telling you you have to do this. And if you don't, it's a problem. But I don't have that right to tell you what to do at home.
Well, I mean, you do have that right. You have that right completely to do that if you want to. Because here's the thing, man, we have the right to come out and speak our minds as long as we're not being, I guess if we're not being dirty or vulgar or threatening each other or, any of those such ways.
I don't feel like you can ever tell a man what he can do in his own home unless you are doing something that is
illegal,
disgusting.
Right, of course.
When I say disgusting, I'm not talking like just in a porn sense. I mean, like, if you're in your home killing people because you think it's fun, no, you can't do that. But if you're in your own home and you want to play whatever music you enjoy listening to, regardless of what that is, you can play that. That's your house. So I will never tell anybody what they can do in their home. What people have to realize is just because you can do something in your own home doesn't mean you have to bring it out to everyone else. It's no different than, and again, this is just my personal opinion. The whole, transgender, young people now looking at pronouns. If that's what they want to do, that's completely fine. If that's how you want to do your life, but don't push that on anybody else.
Right.
So it's the same thing as a thought. If I feel like, women shouldn't work, I have the right to think that in my home. But it doesn't mean I should be able to go outside of my home and tell women you can't work. No, you can't do that. That's that gray area. I feel like that a lot of lines have crossed because we live in a day and age where everything has to be accepted.
Yep, I do. I do like that a lot. All right, so now where do we go from here, Phil? Let's get into it, right? I'm sorry, I was just looking up this. I'm trying to look up this information here real quick. So now that we've kind of discussed and brought ahead what we feel, what do you guys feel out here? What do you guys feel where we're at in this conversation, where we're going with it, and what do you guys think? What do you guys think right here? What do you guys think where we're at? Before we break into this a little bit deeper, I want to hear from you guys up here in the comments. Where do you guys think that we're at in this conversation? Where do you think it should go? And do you feel like it's okay for us to go ahead and come out here and just open this thing up? And what's your guys' thoughts here? Is this too much? Is this too much for the ears of of our fellow peers that are all with us. It's just too much to hear for. Is there just like mm, you know? So what do we got here, Phil? What do we got here? We got Josie up here. This is John. This right here too. By the way, this is Josie. She's the one that I speak to you about, guys. We got Josie Belleville right there. She's the one that has been persecuted. She's an amazing, amazing woman. She has rallied beside us for since I began in the whole CPS breaking news fight. I've met her prior to these days, and she's come along with me since then. Except for she's not actually currently involved with us because of what's going on against her. So we wish her a bunch of well wishes and everything. We love her so much and dearly. But she's actually started a new group up there in where she is, and I believe it was set to be scheduled to begin in what did she say? It's the I think it was in October. It's her group. Her group is coming out, and she's fighting up there in Canada, John. So be getting in touch with her because she's the one that is going to be leading that fight up there. But like right now, she can't be directly involved with it, at least as far as I know, Phil. Let me get you back in here. I see you're back here. You got kicked out for some reason. But like these are, yeah. Anyway, sorry, I was going on that list. You've got my mind racing, brother. So what do we got here? Oh, it is open. Good. Josie's group is open. That's awesome. All right, let me get Phil out here. Josie, if you honestly, I don't know if you can speak or not. But if you could come out and give yourself like a quick 1 minute plug before Phil and I get into the meat and potatoes of this topic, I don't think Phil would mind for you to come out and just give us a little update about your cause. If you can, Jose, I don't know if you can or not. If you can, then please do so. I'll put the link up here so that you can get into the show. And if you know what, Phil, you know what, maybe we should have a couple of people come in here after Josie and tell us what they feel about the Confederate flag before we come in. How do you feel about that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
like
cool.
I said, this is an open discussion. Anybody can talk.
Right. Let's see here. All right, I got the link. The link is right here. And guys, if you could just wait to see, let me see here. All right, cool. She can come in. So Josie, here you go. Guys, please, if you're watching here and you're live, cool. We welcome you guys to join, but if you could please just let Josie go through what she's got to say about her group real quick. We give each of you guys like 2 minutes to go through this, and then Phil and I can get to the meat and potatoes and seeing how we both feel on the modern day topic of the racism and all of that stuff of the Confederate flag. So here you go, Jose, and then everybody else also. This is the link to the show right here in the chat. Do what you got to do to get in here and tell us your way. But let's wait for Josie. She's coming. Have you ever met Josie, Phil?
I don't think I have.
Oh my God, she is amazing. She is she's 1,000. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better woman. Well, no, I'm not going to say that because there'll be so many of you out there that'll be like, "What, Punisher? What?" But we don't want that. But she is just a freaking. She's. You know how hard it is to keep the women pleased, Phil, and that's a fact. But to keep them all happy with you at once. But she's pretty much criminal of crime. And I actually met Josie when me and your wife or fiance or whatever her role is with you, my good friend Candace, yeah, we met around the same time.
Okay.
So I mean, she was a great Candace. I'm talking about now. We all know her. Small voice, big world. Small people, small voice, big. Candace, say it.
She's not in here right now.
Oh, she's not.
You was very close though. You was very close.
Small people, small world. It's been so long since I've done this.
Voice.
Small voice. There she is, and we'll talk about Candace's thing after in a minute. I know you were, Becky. That's why I tuned my tune change my tune. But guys, here is the wonderful, amazing,
And Candace wanted me to
unstoppable.
let you know, small interview visual. What's the rest of it? Huge voice.
Small individual with a huge voice.
That's right. I knew that's what it was. I just wanted to check. Josie, how the hell are you?
You
And
know
what
we
are you
call
doing
me
here
Robert.
with
Good thing you sent me the link. I was like, "Hey, Darren's there. Let me see." But then it's been so long. I was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
how do I get back on this?" Yeah.
Right. Well, welcome back. This is a new thing. This is Phil right above me, or right to my this way. Phil and I started this. Well, Phil started this. I was lucky enough to have him invite me into it and join him. But now this is what we're doing. While we were starting, whatever, we're doing it, and that's it. And you're here. So Josie, tell us a little bit about what you've got happening with your organization and everything.
Okay,
What do you
so
got?
it's finally on live now. So now everybody can go and look on the website. It's www.lesmanteauxrouges.org. So basically, what we're doing is we're building a foundation because we have the same problems here in Quebec, Canada, as everybody else in the world. CPS, social services, come steal our kids, and then once you get into the system, it's hard to get out and blah blah. So basically, we want to build a foundation, kind of like the Bill Gates Foundation and all these foundations, because I like with all my experience now, I figured that the only way to be in the game is use the game like they is to use their own game
Right,
against them,
right,
right?
right.
So I don't want to be a community little thing. I want to go big, right? I want to go big or go home. So we're making it a
Yeah.
foundation. We're going to get money from the government to help us with lawyer fees, with parents, to get kids to know their rights. So to hopefully give courses on the platform, to give advice, like and this right now it's majorly in French. So
Mhm.
right now we're doing it in French, but like I want to do it in English eventually. You're going to be a collaborator because I've been with you for like 2 years now. You know my whole story.
It's
You're you're part of my story. You're part of my journey. You're part of the one people that I love and I cherish, and I thank you for not judging me. And I just want to be able to help other parents know that they're not alone, and that there's people that are really trying to change laws, to change things, because we know that this is a system and this needs to end. Our children are in danger. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I'm so excited that you're able to come out and speak. And Phil, they put the pillow over her, man. They wouldn't allow her to talk. She actually was well, Jost, just tell him a real quick, because I know we're doing the limited time thing, and I
Jesus
want
Christ.
to.
We're like
But
for the past 2 years, I am now like I am a veteran, so I'm a Canadian veteran. I did 13 years in the Canadian military. When I left, like today, I am now a criminal. They arrested me for supposed death threats against a social worker, which is not true, with zero proof, whatever. I did 3 months house arrest for a threat. Am now a criminal. They are now the last month they tried to say that I did a breach of conditions. I got acquitted, and 3 weeks later they rearrested me again for a breach of conditions. So now I'm arrested. I'm like under arrest right now, technically, until we go to court. I have like a promise to go to court. So like, yeah. So it's
It's a lot.
I'm still in the thing. I'm supposed to shut up. I'm not supposed to talk about it, but like freedom of speech, we don't have the First Amendment right. We have our freedom of speech. So I'm continue talking, and whatever happens.
right, Josie, how do we spell this? I'm trying to put your website up here. How do I? Let me get in here first so I can do this proper.
Okay.
Let's see. All right. So if I was to write this as a third grader in English, but you're teaching me in French how to write this so people can see it, how do we write it?
Okay, so www
Yeah.
dot
Yeah.
les les
Yep.
mateaux and then les manteaux and then rouge right beside it is rouges
That's .org, correct?
.org. Yep.
You look great, Joseph. You look amazing. You look like you're on fire. You look like you're ready to go, and obviously pretty as ever. But man, you look like you're just full of piss and vinegar and ready to go at it with these people. You know, so I'm excited for you.
How long have you been doing this?
Well, this is going on 3 years now. So they stole my granddaughter from the hospital the 8th of December 2022. So it's going on 3 years. 3 years. Yep.
Well,
3 years.
All I can say in this sense, because CPS is something I'm new to as far as dealing with it. My own fiance deals with it, but hats off to you. Hats off to you for doing as much as you have done so far.
Oh my God, you have no idea. This woman is like the queen of TikTok. You guys can. Well, you were shut down from there, right? Are you off of TikTok now?
No, I'm still on TikTok.
All right, good.
So I have 2 accounts, José Belleville, my name, Josie Belleville on TikTok, but that's the only problem now is that mostly my algorithm is French. So I try to do English TikToks also, but like right now since I'm in Quebec and like the algorithm is very French, so that's why it's like very French, but you guys can join me, you guys can see, you guys can follow me on TikTok, basically.
It's just your name on TikTok, correct?
Yeah, José Belleville 2 and José Belleville the other one, but I mean I use the number 2. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Anything else you want to get out there, Josie, before we get the fireworks going here for this?
Nah, I miss you. I
miss
can't
you
wait
too.
to talk to you. And I know
Yes.
you guys were talking about the Confederate flag, which
Oh, yeah, what's this
I
after
know
that?
fuck all about, so I'm not even going in there. I just think of the Dukes of Hazzards, man. So totally not the right person to talk about the Confederate flag with. Sorry.
Oh, that's
Excuse my
awesome.
ignorance. I know fuck all about that. I don't.
No, you're good. You're definitely good.
Awesome, dude. Well, thank you, Josie, so much for coming in, and I'll get in touch with you either later tonight or tomorrow. How's that sound?
All right, I'm listening to you guys. So have a good night.
Have a good night,
You
Josie.
too. Thank you.
Bye.
Get in touch with her. John, that's the one you want to get in touch with. Josie Belleville, you've heard it now, finally. So get in touch. John's the guy. He's a listener. He's been dying to get in touch with you, so now he knows how. So thank you for that, Jose. John, there you go. You finally got your information. Let's see. Says that. All right. Well, you know what to do, John. We'll get that set up right for you. All right. So let's get back at it, Phil. All right. The TikTok was Josie Belleville, right? She said just Josie Belleville or Josie Belleville 2. Right? Wasn't that what she said there, Phil?
Yeah, she did.
All right. So, well, we've got the secret pseudonym up here. Let's see what we got for comments, Phil, about this Confederate flag thing. Now we're going back at it here. People, we're talking about what the Confederate flag means, what it means to others, how people look at it, how we look at it. It's a topic that people don't like to talk a lot about, right, Phil? I mean, to be honest.
Yeah, for real. They kind of shy away from it. It's no different than religion and politics. People kind of shy away from it.
Right. And there shouldn't be any, honestly, in my opinion, there should be no, this is a flag that was the symbol on the battlefield out here. Maybe not in the way that we see it nowadays, but it was this flag that was on the symbol of on the battlefields. And mind you, this was only one of how many wars? One of, I guess that's the only war that was fought on this soil, right? Full-fledged battles, and it was all American soldiers. So
Yeah.
how on earth can we take the symbol of such a once in a, as far as we're concerned, as Americans, it was one of the only wars that were here, and so many died for.
I mean, unfortunately, like I had said before, it is a flag that was meant to be positive and was taken by a small few and made very negative. A lot of people don't even know that the flag, like I said, was made by a black woman. Most people don't know that. Um, our history, what we know as far as history goes, what we're told, unless you go and dig yourself and find out. So,
What
in
do you
my
say?
personal,
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't want to talk
no, go
about
ahead.
that.
Say, no, say what you're gonna say.
No, well, I think I was going to ask you what you were just going to say. So go ahead, finish on.
No, in most people's opinion, you have a lot of people that look at it like Southern pride, and you have a lot of people that look at it like it was just a flag to hold somebody down. Um, which unfortunately is true on both sides. You do have people out there that look at that flag like we're the people that's supposed to be here. And then you have other people that look at that flag and be like, no, this is just my Southern heritage. She even brought up when she said the only thing she knows about is the Dukes of Hazzard, which was a very popular show back in the early '70s, late '70s. Um, but that flag didn't have anything to do with racism as far as that show was concerned. So there's a lot of different representations of that. I feel like it's very important for people to not just look at that flag and look at anybody that flies it, that they're automatically just racist. I feel like you need to know who that person is first. Now, does it mean that my point of view is all the way correct or your point of view is all the way correct? No, but it's just both how we view it. So,
Yeah, it's just and the Dukes of Hazzard, for those of you that don't know, and that used to be my favorite show when I was a kid, man. I loved the Dukes of Hazzard. I had Dukes of Hazzard sheets, I had Dukes of Hazzard curtains, I had Bo and Luke, everything. And that show is about bootlegging through the South. In those days, they were running bottles of booze, right? Like that's what they were doing, man, running
mhm.
bottles of booze through the South. And they were heroes, man. They were running all the back roads down there, going through, and they flew the. If you guys don't know, I'll get you something up here just to give everybody a little. I mean, a lot of people might know the one with who was it? Jessica Simpson that was in it. Is that who was in the?
Yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
just one of the what's his name? From Jackass was in it too.
Oh yeah, Johnny Knoxville was in it, right?
Yeah,
Or
Johnny Knoxville was in it.
yeah, Johnny Knoxville was in it. Yep. Um, let's see here. I'm pulling that, and it was just a great show. But nothing about that. And if you watch the Dukes of Hazzard and you watch what goes on in that show, not one time that I can recall, and I'm not going to quote this and saying it's 100% fact, but I don't ever recall them um, pushing aside black people or singling them out. Now I know that there wasn't a lot of black people in the show itself, but in all reality, man, that show had nothing to do with racism. As long as the only thing that would tie you to that would be the symbol of that car, right? Because they flew
Right.
the stars and bars on the top. Other than that, if you took that car out of there, if you took the General Lee, which is the name of the car, if you took that away, then you wouldn't even have a damn clue that it had to do with anything more than you know what? I don't even know how you could even do a challenge of the fact that Bo and Luke were racist or anybody in that show was racist. Because it was never said. They didn't drop any of the N words. That makes us all uncomfortable about, and nobody should use that word as a direct comment because it is a rude. Well, I mean, let me ask you this, Phil, since we're on this topic. If someone drops the N word on you, are you offended by it or do you just take that as a part of English?
Um, if I don't know you, yes.
Hmm.
Um, Now I have family that will say like, if you're not black, you shouldn't say it at all. But I had, well, had, rest in peace, Boston. That was his nickname, Boston. But he would say it. But when he said it, I knew him very well, and so
Hmm.
I didn't have a problem with it.
Hmm.
It again, it's all on perspective. If I met you the first time I met you and you would have dropped that in front of me, it might
Hmm.
have changed how I look at you. Now, would I expect you to say it now? No, just because you've never said it in front of me. Now,
Right.
if you do use it, I would. I'm not gonna say expect, but I would hope that it would be a conversation we would have first before you just did it. You know,
Right.
it's no different than meeting a female for the first time and calling her a bitch. Not saying she a bitch, but
Right.
just like
Right. You
jokingly saying it.
dropping some names
Right.
or dropping some things on her that you're not accustomed to. You're still in the sparring stage, for instance, right?
Well, again, like I said, it's all about respect. Like if you feel like you can say something comfortably in front of a person, and first and foremost, I will be the first to say in this conversation that I have definitely said some things to people kind of out of pocket. I mean, we're
Mhm.
not nobody's perfect, we all do it. But if you respect the person and then y'all have that kind of connection, if there's something you want to start doing, you should at least have that conversation prior to you doing it. So in the same sense, um, it can be taken
So,
very
very.
derogatorily. Go
Mhm.
ahead.
Josie just said one of her comments where she's like, unless she's singing a song, she absolutely doesn't agree with singing it. But we have musicians out there that drop the N word all the time, you
True,
know,
true,
and
true.
she said, she
And
hates it. But right, how
it's
do we? It's
go
hard to
ahead. I'm
take
sorry.
a word. It's hard to take a word with such emotion that's involved with it and pick and choose when you can and can't use it, right? Like, so how come your friend Ed, which we just declared this, that it's because it's your friend or whatever, and do you find it acceptable? Let me reverse here because I'm getting too many thoughts in one sentence here. If you and your friends are out there talking about it, and you and all your black friends, and this is not everybody we talk about, this is me potatoes, you guys together, I bet you there's N bombs dropped all the way around the conversation, right? Like you hear that constantly with rappers, with groups, when things you hear on TV, it's like in this, in that, in this, in that. But if a white person jumped in your group and started talking like that, it's immediately thrown at as it's a hate word, right?
Correct. Again, it's all on perspective and the environment you're in and how people know you.
Right.
So when it comes to the Confederate flag, if I have a very
Mhm.
good friend of mine that flies that flag,
Mhm.
if I know why they fly it, I'm not going to be offended by it.
Mhm.
So if I have a very good friend of mine that I'm comfortable with saying that to me, that's
Mhm.
because I know that person that well,
Right.
or I'm comfortable enough on that level with them to do that. Outside of that, then it's kind of a little different. If a person just walks up to me randomly who I don't know and just says that to me, it's definitely going to be a problem. It's definitely going to. No,
That's
regardless
like
if I'm violent or if I just
you
cuss
didn't
you
even
out
see
or
it
if I look
coming,
at you
right? That's
crazy.
what that took.
Yeah, it really is. You know what I'm saying? It's
You know,
it's completely
right,
up to it.
right.
But if it's a person I'm cool with and we've had this conversation with each other and this is where we kind of stand with each other, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
So, all of it is a very gray area. All of it. When it comes to the
Well, it's not
flag, when it
really
comes
gray though,
to
Phil. It's not gray at all. It's the fact that it shouldn't be one way or the other. We shouldn't have to tiptoe around meanings of things. Like the Confederate flag means this. Okay, it means this. I shouldn't be worried about flying a Confederate flag and getting retribution on by you and your friends throwing rocks or something at me because you think that it's hateful. You know what I mean? All
right.
these things that we do should be a standard. Look, 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 look. It's equal for all of us.
But I mean, the world is not that black and white. There's a lot of gray.
But it is
There's a
very
lot of
black
gray.
and white.
You know what I'm saying? So
It's gray, but there
it,
shouldn't be. Like it should just be. Look, now my opinion on the N word is I believe that it's a awful word. I believe it's a derogatory word. I believe that no one deserves to be used. That word doesn't need to be used on any person, as far as I'm concerned, in any sort of setting or any sort of event or whatever. I don't. That's my opinion. Like I don't
yeah.
feel that the word in its entirety is acceptable. However, so I shouldn't have to worry about flying a Confederate flag and getting a left hook because you don't agree with me. It should be like, oh yeah, he flies a Confederate flag. Oh, he must be from the South, or maybe he has heritage. Not immediately I'm a racist. But if I
Right.
said to you, hey, what's up, in, you're immediately, now that to me is a recognizable word to get punched, as just like I think your reaction to me would be bang. You know what I mean? Like that would be it, you know? But where it's so used so freely in the black community, it's really an offsetting, and um, it's a tough pill to swallow to try to explain. How do I explain that to a 3-year-old kid if we're all out at the park and everything, and my 3-year-old's playing with all the black 3-year-olds and they're all saying in this, but my little kid isn't allowed to say this word because it's a mean derogatory thing. See, that's where things get tough. It gets hard to teach that way. And I don't
Right.
understand myself either. Like, why is some term acceptable all of a sudden to some but not all? Same thing with the Confederate flag. How come it is that, I mean, and they've done a damn good job in this country of painting that picture of a racist being a Confederate flag carrying person. You know, just like you said at the onset of
That
the
was done
stuff.
on purpose too, though. Honestly,
Well,
that was completely done on purpose.
by you,
No. I'm saying that picture was painted for a reason. No
right?
different than, you know what I'm saying? It was made to divide, because the biggest thing about our country is they don't want people unified. They don't want people to think on the same page. They
Correct.
don't want us to be able to, like, okay, I agree with you, but I don't agree on this, but we agree.
Right.
They want you to constantly be at ends with each other, because as long as we're fighting with each other, we'll never see what they're actually doing to us.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that
You know what I'm
1,000%.
saying? So that's this whole thing that started up with transgender and the new age young people using them, that they, I'm not a he, I'm not a she, I'm a them, I'm a they. All of that, even though it might have a meaning, or has a what's the word I'm looking for? It has it's important to talk about. They're
Yep.
making it way bigger than it should be, because they want to distract you. It's like the old saying, look at my right hand so you don't see what my left hand is doing. If
Right.
you
Good
if you
point.
watch the news, there's certain things that are just constantly flooded on the news, because they're trying to keep your attention just on that. Prime example, and this is just my opinion again, the whole Diddy trial. Granted, a lot of that shit was very fucked up. I will not take away from that. You know what I'm saying? But there was a
Mhm.
reason why that particular case was just flooded on us. Now, granted, there was CPS involved in that as well. I
Mhm.
found that out. But the way they flooded it, it was on social media, it was on the news, it was in magazines, it was in the newspaper. They were trying to distract us from something else that they were also already doing. And unfortunately, that's what happens a lot of times nowadays. Even back in the 60s, 50s, whenever, if they really want you not to know what's going on with something, they're going to flood you with something else.
Right. Right. Agreed. I agree. I agree with that 1,000%. Or they're going to distract you from what's really taking place. I know. There's a lot of controversy going on, and I'm going to tell you this, guys. We got gunning for CPS coming up here in 13 minutes, so we just got a couple more minutes, Phil. I know we can go on this topic a shit ton, man. This thing could just go and go and go. But make sure you guys stay tuned, because we got Gunner coming up next. But look at here. Amy White says this right here. This is a great comment. I'm trying to put it up here for you. Let me see. Where is it? It says, where the hell did I just see it go? Let's see, John. It's great to meet you, John. Yes, John, I will do that. I'm sorry. Let me try to find this comment here. Unless I'm singing, John, can you share my email? Yes, I can. Right. Well, okay, John. Well, like you're saying there, John says, just like the original swastika symbol, it was originally not a bad symbol. He's right. What they did is they turned it counterclockwise. Originally, it was a Native American symbol, I believe, if I'm correct here. It was upright, and that actually was a symbol of peace, the swastika. But then they dialed it 15 degrees to one direction, turned it into the sign of the, obviously, as we all know, the hated, um, Nazi group, which that flag has been adapted by a lot of white supremacy flags or white supremacy groups and things like that. Also, by taking an Indian flag, not Indian from overseas, but an Indian like a Native American, that symbol, by just rotating that to the degrees to the left, turned that into a racist, a racist or bad symbol. And it came from the most peaceful symbol that we knew at the time. So,
And you had
um,
made that statement earlier, something good can be made bad, and then something bad can also be made good. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Um,
yeah,
a lot of things like that I feel like have to die out, especially when it comes to racism. Um, that's something that's taught. That's not something that's inbred in you. It's something that's taught. So the only
right.
way that's going to be completely gotten rid of is one,
Hmm.
when we cut ties with anything that's attached to it, but also when the generation that made that a thing dies out.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I
Yeah.
mean, if you look at today's times, you have a lot of biracial couples. You have
Hmm.
a lot of people who are straight, gay, bisexual, pan, whatever the case might be. So
Yeah.
the room for growth is definitely there, but unfortunately, the seeds that were planted years and years ago are still there. And the only way we're going to ever get past them, I feel like, is if we let go of the past entirely.
Right.
And this is something that I do say, and I work on with myself every day, is you have to let go of the past to move forward. It's like a rope. If you hold on to something and you're still pulling, you can't move
Mhm.
forward. You have to
Right.
let go of that to move forward. So that's what all of it. You know what I'm saying? If that means the N word is just completely stopped, if that means the rebel flag is completely stopped, whatever it takes to end that hatred or whatever thought is behind that,
Hmm.
that has to happen. It's no different than a relationship to me. You have two people that are in a relationship together and they both have their opinions, they both have their
Hmm.
views. But what's more important, the relationship or how you think? So if I want to move forward, am I willing just to let go and move forward, or do I want to hold on to that and still try to make it work within itself? So, you know, again, this is a topic that is very touchy for people, and everybody has their own opinion on it. I have my own opinion on it.
Hmm.
Darren has his own opinion on it. But at the end of the day, can we move past that and can we grow as people? Can we
Hmm.
have two people from complete different sides of the world and can still be friends, coincide with each other, coexist with each other, whatever the case might be? And if we can do that as just two men, that can be something that can be done worldwide, I feel like.
It's just like this dude. Look at this guy right here. Owen M. Why is bro trying to talk to someone so high out there? Mind all he can say is right. Yes, yeah. Well, first of all, dude, if you paid attention to our channel, you would know that I suffer from narcolepsy there, brother. So before you start spewing out all kinds of stupid information, bro, why don't you pay attention to what's going on in the world and what goes on in the station? You are the people, buddy, that we don't want on these channels. So have a nice day, brother. Go spread your other shit somewhere else, man. What an
This is
asshole.
not a channel for anybody to spread hate. This is not a channel for anybody to try to bash anybody for any
Frank
reason. This is a
Folder. What a
channel for
fucking
people
loser.
to just have a conversation.
Yeah, these are the people. These are the people that we talk about. Not knowing a damn thing about anything, he's going to come out and pass judgment on me because of what? Because of why? If you knew anything about anything, dude, you know that I work my ass off 24/7 about everything. So why don't you go back and watch some other shows, there, pal? What an
I
idiot!
mean, it's unfortunate. Um, you realize, and this is just human nature. Within the first 2 seconds of being around a person, you've
Mm-hmm,
already judged them. Even if you don't realize you've done it, you've
mm-hmm,
already made an assumption of who you think you're talking to. It
mm-hmm,
takes time to really realize who a person is. You know
mm-hmm,
what I'm saying? That's why one reason why relationships now don't last the way they used to back in the day, because nobody took the time to really get to know each other. So,
mm-hmm,
it's unfortunate when you have a person that comes on our channel and wants to just assume something without
mm-hmm,
knowing. I mean,
mm-hmm,
this channel is called Meat and Potatoes because we're trying to give you substance. If
mm-hmm,
you're used to getting spoon fed bullshit, you might want to just keep eating that because this ain't the channel for you.
mm-hmm. That's too bad, man. We had a great show talking about things, and then this guy's got to come in and piss me off. You know what I mean?
It's all right
So,
though, you know,
so we
because
just said, because we just said, listen, we just proved to everybody out there we had a black guy and a white guy sitting here talking about the Confederate flag, talking about the N-word, talking about all these things. We didn't argue. We didn't fight. We didn't say anything bad, derogatory. We didn't say anything like that to each other. But then you get this fool that's going to come in here and say, oh, look at this guy. He's all high and this, that, and the other. Blah, 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 blah. These are the people that need to be weeded out in the community, sat down and educated into what's right and wrong, how to talk to people, how to deal with people, how not to pass judgment. Because there will be a day that this man needs help from somebody. And I'm going to be like, you know what? This is that asshole. So...
the thing that I think about too, though, in that same sense, it lets you know when you're doing something right. If somebody's not mad at you for doing something that you're doing positively, it lets you know you're doing something right. Because that's unfortunately, people are like crabs in a bucket. Somebody's gonna always have to pull you back. Oh, you're doing too well. Let me pull you back. Oh, you're doing better than me. Let me pull you back. Or you think you're doing something. Let me pull you back.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that's how, you know, people have become. Well, always have been, unfortunately. So I think that's unfortunate that he said that, but at the same time, he had the right to his opinion, but it was wrong, unfortunately.
Yep.
So, you know, maybe if he does a little research on his own, he might find some shit and then come back later and be like, yo, I was wrong about what I said or whatever. You know, but
yeah,
as long as nobody's saying nothing hatefully on here, I'm okay with anybody giving their opinion. I don't
of course,
care.
I love that opinion, but don't be sitting there making personal attacks when you don't know a goddamn thing,
right?
Man. So
I agree with you.
All right, man, we got to get off because Gunner's coming up next, and you know what? It's really too bad that we just had to waste our time talking about that. But I guess it fit the mold, didn't it? It really fit what we were talking about, and why we were talking about it, and everything else. So, you know, it just makes me so freaking angry. So make sure you guys stay on. Make sure you guys watch Gunner for CPS. That's coming up next. Gunner's got a lot to say tonight. I'll be joining him, I believe. Phil, what do you got to say for last words, buddy?
Nothing. Just everybody have a blessed night.
Hell yeah. Oh, hey, I want to bring this up to support everything that's going on, and we've got this whole line, a new line of apparel at CPS Breaking News. It's called the What Would Charlie Do apparel. Let me see if let me show a picture of this stuff for you guys, so you guys can see this. Man, my eyes on fire. Let's try. Let me see here. T-shirts. As you, if you don't know, we have www.cpsbreakingnews.com. Go there, check it out. It's got up-to-date news, clips, everything like that for CPS. And then we also have the gear section. It's called, and that's with all of our, our apparel and stuff that we have that represent the shows. But this is one that I came up with today that I'm going to send the proceeds to whatever his foundation that his wife wants proceeds sent to or whatever to help with that. But here's the What Would Charlie Do shirt. Let me see here. How do I bring it up so we can see them all? Boom. And it's kind of fitting since the services are going on right now. But there it is, the What Would Charlie Do shirt. I made it this afternoon for him. That some say that this was the last picture of him that was ever taken as a awesome, admirable person that everybody should research, look up. He was a great guy. He stood for, agreeing to disagree, Phil, just like we do here, man. So thank you, Charlie Kirk. Thank you, Charlie Kirk. On the back it says, right, "Prove me wrong."
I'm about to bounce out, bro.
All right, Phil, and we are getting out of here too. So thank you guys very much. Check out www.cpsbreakingnews. Phil and I will be back when we get back. So until then, have a good night, everybody. All right. And don't forget, again, like I said, stay tuned for CPS, right? Just for you, O&M. Stay tuned for Gunning for CPS. He'll be right behind me.
Me and potatoes on the table we chew. Two forks clash, but we're tasting the truth. Your salt's too much, my spice too weak. We talk all night till the food can't speak. Meat and potatoes, that's what we do. You say it's red, I swear it's blue. Agree to disagree, we stew and stew. But man, oh man, it's a tasty view. You like it fried, I'll take it mashed. Your gravy flows, my sauce gets splashed. Every bite's a battle, every word's a feast. In this kitchen we're kings and beasts. Forks in hand, plates collide. Who's got the truth, who's got the pride? Meat and potatoes, that's what we do. You say it's red, I swear it's blue. Agree to disagree, we stew and stew. But man, oh man, it's a tasty view. Pass the pepper, pass the sass. Debate the flavor, it's a podcast class. Words like knives, opinion sharp, but laughter's the melody we call art. Meat and potatoes, that's what we do. You say it's red, I swear it's blue. Agree to disagree, we stew and stew. But man, oh man, it's a tasty view. Meat and potatoes, that's what we do. You say it's red, I swear it's blue. Agree to disagree, we stew and stew. But man, oh man, it's a tasty view.